Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of the Stream Scene. We're going to be doing a open Q&A type format. So this is basically open to any questions that you guys have regarding streaming that may not have fit in previous episodes or that you just have recently come across that you have been dying to ask. I'm joined here by, of course, my lovely co-host, the Hunter Wild. How's it going, Hunter?
Well enough. Pretty damn excited for today. We had to swap around our format. I know some people were really excited about the subject that we were going to originally talk about. We are moving that one back a little bit, so you don't have to be too disappointed about it. It will come right to your ear holes. We are joined today for this. I'm actually incredibly excited for today's Q&A by the lovely and wonderful GeneralMittenz. GeneralMittenz, take it away.
What's up, everybody? My name is GeneralMittenz. I'm a variety broadcaster here on Twitch. I also do other things. And both sums it up for me. No, I've been streaming for about 4 years. I've been streaming for 2.5 years as GeneralMittenz, which is an avatar stream. But I also streamed for over a year with a camera and just like the traditional streamer stream back in the day. So yeah, I've been doing this for a while. This is what I do full time, and I don't have a green screen though, and you can tell because it looks like you guys like brought like I'm in the middle. You can, dude. Look at this. Look at this. I look like this is like the creepiest basement in the world. It's like I just got my basement finished. I have a nice window covered by a blue screen. I have a picture of a cat. I have another picture of a different type of cat. And then
it's thematic.
There's a flaming skull in the corner. That's cool. I got an old sword hanging up in the closet. You know what I mean? I'm a huge fan of Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean? I get the super creepy vibes. You guys are like
he's really establishing his credentials.
Oh, right. Very much. Great These are my credentials, guys. These are why I listen to me about streamer advice. You want to come to me, all right? I'm the guy. No, it's awesome to be here. Seriously, I'm a huge fan of both of you guys.
I'm really excited.
It's really great to have you.
Guys ask me anything.
I am kind of curious about like your path to doing this full time and becoming a partner. Like, what was that like for you? What was the space like for you?
Oh, it was horrible. Being really serious. It was weird because I got involved in Twitch back in, I want to say it was January of 2014. And why I got involved in Twitch is basically I was super depressed. This story gets sadder before it gets.
I hear that a lot for people starting out.
No, really, this is a huge thing that we ended up like tapping into, frankly, with GeneralMittenz. But why I originally got on, I used an old World of Warcraft sign-in name. It was like Amara with 4 A's. You try to spell that, like really, like nobody knew how to pronounce my name. But I saw these people on. I was really down in the dumps, really low point in my life, and I ended up getting on Twitch, finding Twitch through Dark Souls speed runs on YouTube. I got Dark Souls. And it was the first game in probably like 6 or 7 years that I could not just play and beat. It was like, I have no idea what is going on. You know what? Where I needed help. So what I started doing, and this is a weird way, this is kind of funny how technology brought us here, is I started calling a buddy who I knew had the game, who had told me about the game. I called him up on my cell phone and be like, hey, I'm at that one place. It's got the big guy with the axe. Where do I go now? You know, and like literally, and I would call him for like a week and a half. I would just call my buddy and he'd be like, dude, he was like, I haven't beaten the game yet. Leave me alone. Like I'm done. I'm at work. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I'll talk to you later. I'm going to try to beat this giant guy. You know what I mean? Or whatever. I'm trying to hack and slash my way through Dark Souls. Finally, I'm like, dude, I have no idea. Nelson's not picking up the phone anymore. So I went to YouTube. Get on YouTube. And what I stumbled across was Awesome Games Done Quick, which are just all these guys playing games really well, really quick. And I saw somebody beat all of Dark Souls in like 48 minutes. And I was like, well, that sucks. No, so, that was cool. Now I got caught up in watching a ton of other speed runs. It was like, wait a minute, if they have Dark Souls on here, I wonder if they have Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah, what else is available?
Exactly. And that's where, where you get down the rabbit hole. It was all on YouTube still. But then I started noticing everybody was like, well, and follow them on Twitch. And this is their Twitch handle. And everybody kept throwing out that word, Twitch. And it was always at the end of the speedrun video on YouTube. So finally I was like, what is this Twitch? So I went and signed on. And the first thing, I was playing Dark Souls. So the first thing I did was look up Dark Souls. And sure enough, there was Eddie Monster playing a blind playthrough of Dark Souls. So he was the first he was the first person I followed. I went ahead and made an account just so I could follow Eddie. And I just met Eddie at the Omen HP challenge for out at Twitchcon. I met him for the first time in like years, like 4 years of doing this. And I met Eddie, and that was just huge. So yeah, I got involved just straight up through Dark Souls, and That was January of 2014. And by March, I was streaming. It was one of those things where
That's quick.
As soon as I saw it, it was like, I can do this. Like I bounced around for, I don't know, probably 10 years at that point, just with different jobs, just all, 8 years of the food industry, you know what I mean? Stocking shelves, all this, manual labor, minimum wage jobs, whether it was, putting a roof on a house with, a team of roofers, like all over the place, whether it's construction, food service, whatever it was.
The blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah. It's just always just sweating really hard and, yada, yada. But it was like, wait a minute, all you have to do, we're all streamers here. This is a safe place. All you have to do. You know what I mean? This is a safe place. All you have to do is play games and be funny and be polite and welcome people and just have and
totally true.
In school, I was the guy with the clean apartment who had all the people come over and they'd all come over and I'd be like the host of the parties until I stopped drinking and then suddenly all my friends disappeared.
That does happen.
That literally happened in college. But it was like my apartment was like the cool place to be because I was the guy that just made people feel comfortable and just welcomed everybody and had a good place for them to come and hang out. And I kind of saw that on Twitch. It was like, wait, all I have to do is just be a host and just play games that I like playing and just have a good time. I can do that. You know what I mean? I can entertain. You know what I mean? So I started streaming full time. This is back in early 2014, like March. And I streamed for over a year under the name Amera. I had the cam stream and all that. I had a steady schedule. I had the steady grind. I had Far Cry Fridays. Like I had events. I had, all that type of stuff. I was on a stream team. And what it came down to was basically partnership, Loco, as you asked for, at that time was like the end all. You know what I mean? It was like, if you can make partner, you've made
That's end game.
That's end game. That's, and that's how my mindset was. And what it came down to was I ended up spending a lot of time, and this is something that I think not many people talk about this, but I think it still is a real big thing on Twitch. I got really involved in those backroom, small time chats, late at night when all the bitter, angry people get together and lament over the success of others and their non-success. Yeah. And these places exist. And I got involved in that and I hated it. And I really, really, really hated it because basically I'd be like, hey guys, what's going on? And I'd come in and it would be like, oh dude, we're just hanging out watching this one bitch stream. Pardon me.
Yeah.
But literally that's what it was. I was watching this bleep, stream. And man, she's just such an idiot. Everybody's just here to see her tits, yada, yada, yada. And they would just sit there in this voice call. And I'm on this stream team with these partnered streamers. And I was just sitting there ragging on people, but all small time, really just a bunch of small time people, like not even talking about concurrence, but just really, really small, very small-minded individuals.
Yeah, well, right, in their hearts.
And exactly.
Yeah.
And what it came down to was I really hated that about my life is that I was involved in something like that.
Right.
When I was 19 years old in college, I made a pact with myself never to talk about other people behind their back. And that was like a huge step for me, but it sounds so dumb. But there was this one guy on campus that walked around campus with an Indiana Jones hat and a bullwhip. He was a target for ridicule. Like it was like he was asking to be made fun of, right? He was a homeschooler. Like I was a homeschooler too, and I have nothing against homeschoolers. But he was like, that guy's definitely a homeschooler. People didn't know I was a homeschooler because I fit in. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, he's a homeschooler. Anyway, but it was a big deal for me to be like, hey, don't talk shit about people behind their back. And it's that simple. And you can make a better world just if I'm not that guy passing it along. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can make a tiny little impact just by not talking crap about other people. Fast forward 5 years, and here I am in a small chat room, and they're like, oh, this Alaskan Savage guy just got partnered. Oh, what a piece of crap. He's only sitting there talking. I'm not kidding, dude. And it really, really pissed me off to the point where I quit Twitch. I straight up quit Twitch. And there was a void in my life because I didn't there was a reason why I found Twitch. You know what I mean? I tick all the boxes, lonely, don't want to leave the house, whatever it is. I live on Twitch. I found this home on Twitch for over a year, 14 months streaming straight every day. Yada, you know what I mean? Like this was my life for a year, Twitch. And then just to pull the plug on all that one day, it was just like, no, I'm done. I can't do this toxic BS anymore. Like I couldn't put up with it. And then that's when the idea for GeneralMittenz kind of hit. And it was like, I need to launch doing something else. So really the whole thing with the cat avatar, all of that, everything to do with the avatar, it directly was me not wanting to be on camera because I wanted to avoid the same toxic crowd because I knew that I relaunched. I'd seen other people relaunch and rebrand and try to reorient themselves. and they were unable to do it because the same crowd of people showed up and we're just like, ha, idiot. You know what I mean? And literally just to avoid that, I have now pretended to be a cat for 3 years.
I remember hearing about this at TwitchCon when somebody mentioned that you streamed before and that you had just like relaunched a few months before. Was it the first TwitchCon?
Yeah, it would have been at the first TwitchCon. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, but literally that's like all of GeneralMittenz and all of the Avatar, and like I was the first Avatar streamer to be partnered. I was the first. There were people using Face Rig, which isn't what I use. Always have to make that distinction. Like I made my program. I remember. I actually tried out Face Rig and I didn't like it. Like I bought Face Rig from Steam and I didn't like it because you still needed the lights, you still needed the green screen, and as you can see. I don't like lights or
that did not work out for you.
That did not fit what I wanted for my future. I could have all this. No, sorry. So all of the Avatar and the creativity behind the Avatar was just like, I want to avoid these toxic people that, I knew who they were and I knew that they would show up. And I literally almost used a voice changer as well because I was that much, no, I know I can make it. I know I can be successful on Twitch. I've been doing this for over a year. I know the market. I know the field. Yeah. I can be successful. And all I have to do is just avoid those people for, I'm going to say 2 months. If I can go 2 months without them knowing who I am, I can get around them, around that toxicity, and then actually be like around the obstacle and ready to run free.
It wasn't merely evasion, right? It wasn't just trying to escape them so that you could
What I'm saying is, yes, when I started, yes, that was the whole idea. When I started, literally it was just to evade these super, super toxic people.
Okay.
And then so we worked on the program and we worked on it for, it was about 4 months that we were working on.
This is you and Molly.
Yeah. Wait, my wife, my lovely wife.
Yeah, it's
Molly,
important to bring her
who does 72% of all the work. I will definitely mention my wife, Molly, at this time, who is bearing my child. Congratulations. To my wife, God, Miss Molly. So she was working on the program and like I knew what I wanted it to look like. So she was like, "Is this good?" I'd be like, "No, better." Slap, and we got that whole thing figured out. And then it came down to like we had a launch date and we even had like a soft launch date. Like, okay, we'll start streaming daily on this day, but we won't say anything on any social media for 2 weeks. Like, we're gonna have a soft launch.
Hard.
Oh, dude, it was we went
for somebody.
Oh, we went
so wrapped and it's under your bed.
We went so hardcore. Like we went so hardcore. We planned out every little thing meticulously. But then it was 2 weeks before that launch, and I basically said to Molly, "No, like I'm not doing this." And she was like, "The hell you're not!" Like I'll tell you right now. She's been working on it hard, and I was like, "No, I'm not doing this." And she was like, "Why not?" And I said, "There's no purpose. There's no besides me just wanting to make it on Twitch. There's no purpose for me doing this. There's no purpose in GeneralMittenz." And up till that point, I'd use the term, I'm going to appeal to the lowest common denominator, talking about viewers, talking about, I'm going to just money. Come on. I see all these big guys getting, and that's literally, that was my mindset. You laugh, but like, that was my mindset. I was like, I
laugh because it's real and I understand this.
It's totally true.
Why I laugh.
And this is me being really honest. I've said this in interviews in the past, but I know really it was that. It was me escaping toxicity, saying, no, I know I could be something big. And 2 weeks before launch, I'm so glad that I was like, no, because that's not who I am. I've never been somebody that chases money. I really am not. I'm somebody that really has just tried to be happy. And that's a struggle enough. Like really trying not to be depressed, I've struggled with suicide.
That's the bigger struggle.
For years. Oh, it's massive. And so basically 2 weeks before launching GeneralMittenz, I was like, he doesn't have a purpose. And that's what I said to Molly. I was like, he doesn't have a purpose. And this sounds so weird, but it was like, he needs to have a purpose. So what's that purpose? And I spent like a couple of days agonizing over this because we've worked on this really hard. And long story short, it just clicked really one day. I was like, holy crap, look at what I'm struggling with. This anxiety, the depression, this is what I fight on a daily basis. At the time, I was going through this rigmarole of going to the doctor to try to get meds. And those meds were making like me more paranoid and more suicidal. So they were putting me on new meds. This is something I was dealing with on a daily basis. So it was like, man, what can be GeneralMittenz? And it was like a war against anxiety, stress, and depression. Boom. And it all clicked. It all just like clicked in my head. And it was like, dude, if I stand on that, and I knew in that moment, I'm not just making this up. This might sound whatever. I knew in that moment, I wasn't going to be as successful financially, but I knew that was me. And that's what I actually was. And I could be truthful to myself. And I'm the guy that's always I'm like hopelessly honest. And even if that I end up, saying something to offend somebody, or if I, speak more than I should at a family function, I'm the guy that's going to say it like it is. You know what I mean? And I've always been that guy. So the idea of me appealing to the lowest common denominator doesn't jive with me. That's not what I do. And the idea of me being able to honestly say, like, no, guys, I deal with suicidal thoughts. Yeah, I deal with depression on a daily basis. And being able to be completely open about that, and then having Mittens be fighting against that.
Yeah.
It's much a fight for me, it's like a personal fight for me as it is anything else. And it just
you have to win that war yourself too.
Exactly. It was one of those things where it married my personal life with my streaming life so well that it wasn't even a character. It was
all of that through a character, which is itself divorced from your personal, your core identity. Exactly. It partitioned away, but somehow through that you've bridged these things together anyway. That's curious. That's amazing.
Crazy kismet where the whole thing just kind of came around. And it really just worked out perfectly, because it was like lowest common denominator. I hate toxic people, so like I'm gonna go over here and do blah, 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 blah. And then it came around to, no, we can actually, we've helped a lot of people. You know what I mean? The ad council reached out to me and asked me to be the spokesman, the poster boy for their national anti-suicide campaign.
Oh,
and
wow.
That's right.
That happened like 2 years after the fact. That happened a little bit more recently. And at first I was going to accept, and then I turned them down, because as much exposure as that would be, and as great as that would probably be for our channel or whatever, that's like I'm anti-suicide because my father committed suicide, and so I'm very aware of it. I'm very tapped into it. And my father's suicide directly is how I found Twitch. That's not who I want to be in my life. I don't want my life, James, defined by suicide. It already is to a certain extent, because that's how my father, opted out. But that's not, I don't want to be the face of suicide on Twitch. And that's okay. You know what I mean? It's like, I believe in Harvey Dent. No, I don't want to be that. And I don't want to say it was a phase, but dude, it really, really helped me. Mittens helped me get through some really, really rough stuff, and it still is. I'm still dealing with it. But as far as the suicide part of it, that's something that that's a wound I don't want to be picking at for the next 10 years. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm at a pretty good place. So I felt okay, like saying no. And I was able to give them a few, suggestions and say like, hey, this person ironically is a streamer and has gone through very similar things.
Yeah.
They don't make a platform out of it, but I know that they're dealing with very similar things. So they were able to, find other people and stuff.
Good.
But, it's an ever-changing, like any stream is. It's an ever-changing thing, but it was founded on the idea of a war against stress, anxiety, and depression, and that's still going on every day for everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's cats plus military plus hey, we're all depressed. It's it's success. So,
GeneralMittenz in a nutshell for you guys.
A very, very large nutshell.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about earlier you were like, so we'll just throw to you and you'll say how you got involved on Twitch. Dude, I was doing a documentary one time and they said, so what brought you to Twitch? I spoke for an hour and a half. I'm not kidding. It was an hour and a half. And it wasn't just me rambling. It was, I was born in the year 88. I lit a cigarette and just leaned back and was like, all right, let me talk. You know what I mean? It was like an hour and a half later. They were like, wow, that's incredible. And I literally answered every question for them.
It's almost like streaming is a good fit for you.
Yeah, it's like I could talk all day or something. I don't know.
So, we'll be talking about, more about the Mittens part of you in a future episode when we cover our creative characters topic that we were going to do today. Because it definitely, I even listening to your story, I was like, I've got questions I want to ask, but I'm okay.
Yeah, I want to ping them out.
I know we're so dude, I was so excited for that as well. Seriously, and that's gonna be
it'll be coming back because there's so much value in that.
I'm really glad that you guys are gonna come back to that because there's some amazing characters on Twitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
I don't want to take up our whole time today talking about that because it will make more than a full episode. And definitely come back to it.
Yeah, it's a very unique topic. So so we'll be answering your guys' questions that you guys have in chat. Feel free to start throwing them in at any time. I've already started to gather the questions that you guys have asked. during Mr. Min's monologue that he had right there. So we do have some questions already set up. And if you guys just want to keep asking, I'll make sure to grab them. So our first question is going to be, what should you look for in a stream team if you're at a point where you are interested in joining one? And Hunter actually just recently joined a stream team, so he could probably talk about it.
The flagship. So technically, I'm on Mitten's stream team as well, which focuses on positivity, which obviously we could talk about it at length, the value.
Let's talk about positivity.
Yeah. So I just joined the flagship. I also have experience having co-founded a stream, which was the party, which we recently dissolved after like a year and a half ish. And what's that?
I said, I want to say, yeah. I mean, you know more than I would, but
I'm not sure that's true.
I know, right? Like, I want to say yes. Year and a half sounds good.
There's so much potential with stream teams. There are a lot of different things going on with them, and I think that is probably in the top 10 questions that I get when it comes to coaching people. Because I'm very open on my stream and in general about conversing on the subject of streaming itself, and there are obviously significantly more broadcasters who are intending to start, have already started, but haven't gotten very far. Or have been, stagnant for a while, and they're like, "What do I do? How do I break out of this? How do I choose a game? What's the time slot? What's the team deal? What do I do? What do I do about team stuff?" So for the specific question, what should I look for in a stream team if you're at a point where you're interested in joining one? I think there's a lot that can go into that. You've got a vision for your stream. What do you need? Do you need multi-stream stuff? Like I have historically been horrible at multi-streams. So a team that focuses on multi-streams could be problematic if I have to join into that. Part of the reason that I was really, really, really excited to join in with the flagship is they do multi-streams, but it's not like the only thing that they do. It's not what they're all about. So it's going to bust me out of my shell and get me doing that a little bit more, which I find great value in doing that kind of thing. But I wasn't really motivated to do that independently. Like I'm not going to go search out. I'm not going to go multi-stream with GeneralMittenz just out of the blue. Like
I wish you would, but I'm the exact same way.
I will.
I'm the exact same way. Like
exactly. So you can find things in a team that's going to bring something out of you that you're not otherwise capable of doing. There are other stream teams that are just they're massive, and it's about potential trickle down exposure. We're talking about trickle down Twitchonomics. Because there are like 10 big streams at the top. There's a lot going on with teams.
I'm really passionate about teams, and it's really ironic everything that you're saying, because ironically enough, today it was actually officially announced that I joined a team. I joined Team Main Menu.
Congratulations!
Yeah, which is huge for me. That's huge for me, and I'm really, really excited. So yeah, that's Main Menu is like one of the oldest teams on Twitch. Like I don't know, no, but there's a
pedigree.
There's so much about you want to talk about stream teams, and I'm not sure who asked the question, but there's so many different types of stream teams.
Right.
When we talk about stream teams, I think Hunter, when you're mentioning stream teams, I picture business centric. Like if you are a full-time streamer, this is a stream team.
That's a heavy focus for me.
That's a very that's what I'm interested in a stream
team.
You
and I both, yeah.
You're talking your main menus, your New Game Plus, your not even New Game Plus. New Game Plus is really just the old guard from, what do you call it? Like they were the top 10 old guard from Ko's original, what would you call a community stream team? I have a community stream team, which is the Kittens Army. These are people from my community, and this is the definition for me. A community stream team is people from my community who are sub to me, who are pillars of my community, who also stream. I know who they are, and I've checked them out, and I feel comfortable putting like my brand name on them. They're all on a team together. Whether or not they interact with one another, I don't think that they do. And a lot of community teams are like that, where it's just like, it's a name only thing. And it's really like, oh no, I'm on that team. So they can use that hashtag, or they can use whatever it is. But at the end of the day, that's just a community. It's just a community thing. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of bigger community ones. I think that's what you're talking about when you're talking about like, there's the top 10 dogs, but then there's like 50 people on this stream team.
Right.
But at the end of the day,
or 150.
Exactly. Nobody's going to sit there and click through, next page of people and be like, this person, I like their avatar or whatever. And then click on them and then choose to watch that stream. What are the odds? But actually, like as far as what we're talking about, what's the benefit of like a team? I think it's to bolster up like any weaknesses you see. Like you said, you're really bad about reaching out and streaming with other people. Flagship
Absolutely.
is about that. So they're not going to probably force you into that, but it's going to be so much easier for you just to slide in there and be like, yeah, man, I'm going to be streaming with other people and it's a date that's set and boom, 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 boom. And it all makes sense. You know what I mean? And find like-minded individuals. And this is a huge thing. We mentioned this very briefly before. As streamers, I think we're extremely, I know we're for the most part, extremely isolated people. You know what I mean? We stream from, our own place, our own office. If we're full-time, then you don't have another job that you go out to. And you become very much trapped in your own echo chamber, whether it's about the politics of Twitch. Well, just, not politics in general, even just like the politics of Twitch. What's this bull crap with the new TOS, or any opinions on anything you have, the latest, booby gate or whatever it is, that's popped up, and the latest drama, you'll say. Unless you have some way to like vent that as a streamer, stuff that you don't want to bring into your stream and talk to your community about. You know what I mean? Things that you want to talk about with other streamers. Like, I don't know how I feel about this. Or you need that sounding board. You need that. And I think that's extremely important to have a group of like-minded individuals who are your peers. And that's a huge thing right there. Who are your peers? It's if you have a group of people where some of them are lower down on the bracket. This is where the community thing really gets messed up for me, because if you have people that are running let's talk numbers, and this is something I hate talking about. If you have somebody that's running 20 concurrents and somebody that's running 200 concurrents, the person with 20 concurrents is going to be like, hey, why aren't you helping me? And you're going to become at odds, because one of you is doing this full time and is able to pay the bills, and the other one is doing this as a hobby.
That happens a lot,
and wants to get there. And this is one of those things where people don't like talking about it because it's awkward. But it's huge. Everybody, there are 2.7 million people streaming on Twitch, and there are only 27,000 partners.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of those people who are like small time, who want to be big time, and that creates those super toxic places where everybody goes and he's like, yeah, fuck this guy for having his success. And that's where you get that, and that's why I came away from that.
And it continues to breed it, right? That's part of your point. Is like in that
we're not shining a light on it and saying like, you know what I mean? So if you don't talk about it, it's only going to get worse. Like, I want success for like the affiliate program. When the affiliate program kicked off, everybody had opinions. Everybody was like, oh, this is going to be terrible. I had my own opinions. I didn't have a sounding board to be able to say like, hey guys, this is actually a really good thing for Twitch. It's really good for the Twitch economy. And this is going to make Twitch still a thing in 5 years. If you have a brain and can think about this, that's where your head should be. But instead you go on Twitter and it's just like, I'm a partnered streamer and I worked hardcore. And this is all just me, one person's opinion right here. You guys might have exact opposite opinions. But the thing is, with a sounding board of your peers, so whether if you have 20 concurrents or 5 concurrents, try to get on a team of people that are also at that level.
I completely agree wholeheartedly.
I think that's really important.
And make a team if you have to. Like, seriously, I've made a team before with a few other people. I am responsible for writing the flagship's mission statement because I helped found the flagship. I did not. I did not launch the flagship, but I got so fed up with not being on a team and never being invited to a team and not. And with main menu, I had.
And that's most people too.
And exactly. And most people are like that. But I got so fed up after years of being like, and finally it's like, you deserve to be on the team. It's like, I don't deserve crap. Like, get away from me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't deserve anything.
Get off my shoulder.
Get off my shoulder, demon. No, but after a long time, finally it was like, all right, let's just make a team. So I got hooked up with the right people, yada, yada, yada. And at the end of the day, our viewpoints, my viewpoints didn't quite align with everybody's viewpoints. I got along with a lot of people, but there were enough people where it was like, you know what, we're on different wavelengths. I'm going to go ahead and bow out. So right before they launched, I went ahead and ducked out. So this is crazy that we bring up teams as the first thing. You don't want to talk about characters, the perfect thing to talk about, but we'll talk about that later. First question, want to talk about teams? And I know that Hunter just got signed to the team that I kind of helped make. You know what I mean?
Forge.
I think
not kind of helped. It was 7 months of really, really hard work on my part and Molly's part. And that team was Forge at the very end. It was like, this isn't, and this is once again me being really true to myself. I was like, I can't in good conscience do this. So I ended up backing out of it. No hard feelings. I just don't want to sign any legal documents.
And that's like an important part of when you're looking for a stream team is you want to make sure it's people that you mesh with and you're not just like, if you're just there just to like gain something from it and everyone's there just to use each other, it's really not going to be a healthy nor truly beneficial relationship. And stream teams can be a great way to network. You know, by, you know, I definitely encourage you guys to form your own stream team if you don't see one that fits you. And, you know, depending on your goals, like there may not be a team out there for you, but yeah, definitely like consider networking with your peers and streamers that are like similar to your size, and you know, try to form your own team. Our next question is, if you had to start from scratch right now today with how Twitch currently is, do you think it'd be possible to get back to your current level in the same time frame? And to follow that up, what missteps did you make while on the way to partner?
What do you think, Loco?
Yeah.
On that one.
No, I mean it's pretty easy. No, like if I started even like a year later than I did, I would not be where I was today. And if I started a year earlier, I wouldn't be where I was today. Twitch has definitely become increasingly saturated, and honestly, like trying to grow on the platform can be really daunting. And if I was just starting, I wouldn't start on Twitch. If I'm being honest.
Oh, I 100% agree with that. Like, we don't want to say that because we're Twitch streamers and we're partnered with Twitch. But at the end of the day, if I was starting off streaming like new, I would not start on Twitch. Like I wouldn't. And that's not because I don't like Twitch. And it's not because I have a problem with their policy. No, like it's not practical. Like, don't start on Twitch. Like I outed numbers earlier. Go to Facebook, go to Mixer, where you don't have to be the most entertaining or skilled or all of the things that make up a really good streamer. You can have 2 or 3 out of the 4 big things and be really popular just because it's a smaller pool. You know what I mean? It's a smaller pool of people, so you're going to be better. And as long as you just hit your basic marks of, I have a schedule, I have consistency. Really, consistency is like the biggest thing for any starting off streamer. Any streamer that's just starting off, that's the biggest thing for me, consistency. And honestly, I think
self-confidence is going to be a huge element of that too, right? Because when you're comparing yourself to everybody else on Twitch, you know, like I can look at Ko and be like, oh, I'm a dumpster fire.
Never going to make it.
And I'm feeling very successful otherwise. And if I go to Mixer performing the exact same as I am here, I feel quite different about my place there. And the situation. I think that can go a long way too, because I mean, how many people are going to feel like they need to back off of streaming because they feel like they're not making, even if the metrics might be there or other aspects of success might be there, they don't feel that confidence because of that point of comparison. They're not lyric and they wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean, also like you can stream to multiple platforms at the same time now with like,
unless you're partnered.
Unless you're partnered. That's
what unless you're partnered, of course. But like if you're
starting off brand new, you could.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, so why not take that advantage? Like
completely
put yourself on all the platforms and get like
why choose
that exposure? Yeah.
It's very true.
Yeah, exactly.
And so the follow-up, what missteps did you make while on the way to partner?
I made no mistakes on the way to partner. I did it perfectly.
I think I actually made no mistakes on the way to partner.
Like, I'm being really serious. Like, as far as on the way to partner, I made mistakes after partner is what I did.
Yes.
I was partnered in 5 months and had 300 concurrents. And
mine was 5 months.
Yeah, working hand in hand.
I didn't have a lot of room to have a mistake in that time frame, right?
Yeah.
I've had tons of room.
Yeah, exactly. I had a budget where it was, if you don't make this stream financially viable to support your household in under 10 months, you have to go back to stocking shelves. Yeah. And I was like, okay,
let's work.
Do not want 12-hour streams 7 days a week incoming with a game that's really hot. You know what I mean? I stayed on that. And I didn't make mistakes on the way to partnership, but after partnership, I can sit here and be like, you can say that I made mistakes, but honestly, it really comes down to how you measure success. If you measure success
certainly
through metrics, then right now my concurrents are 1/4 of what they were back when. My concurrents are like in the trash can as far as if that's how you're measuring your stream. I think I'm stronger than ever. You know what I mean? Because the way I feel when I go into a stream, the confidence I bring, what I'm about when I'm there. I'm not just popping on and playing one game that I know is going to bring in the high numbers that I don't want to play anymore. Instead, focusing more on what I want to do, more comfortable about, how I want to build up the community that I want to build up.
It's like game selection and then like your own confidence, your own satisfaction with how your stream's rolling.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like we should have a better answer than that. We're just like, we made no mistakes. Next question.
I mean, it's what are some interesting question.
Where's some mistakes to avoid that, like, I don't know. Honestly, like that, it was the things that I avoided. Like I avoided not streaming. That sounds dumb, but like be really, really consistent. Be very vocal with your community, especially. You don't have to be vocal on Twitter. You don't have to make sure that everybody on Twitter knows your thoughts about the latest yada, yada, yada. But make sure that your community knows where your head's at. If you're not streaming, make sure you have a Discord set up. Make sure make sure that you're tapped into your community specifically. And that's what it comes down to. And really make sure you network. That's since getting partnered, that's something I'd say I dropped the ball with. When I was first streaming and really seeking out partnership, I made sure to go play games with people. I was playing Rainbow Six Siege, a skill-based shooter where if you are good at the game, more people are going to watch you. That's what it comes down to. And that's the top 1% of Twitch is all people that play skill-based games that are very good at those skill-based games. That's basically makes up the vast majority of the really successful people on Twitch is if you play a skill-based game and you're really good at it. So I was really leaning into that. And to that end, I made sure that I hooked up with people that would play with me. And these were all streamers, ironically. Normally they were streamers that were bigger than me that wanted to play with me. And I sought out those relationships. I played with a lot of people. There was a lot of networking going on that was very, very organic through the game. Through Rainbow Six Siege, I met a lot of, I played with Omewrecker. I played with Gassy Mexican, like a lot of bigger streamers that wouldn't normally just stream a game with me. I was able to do that because of the position I was in. Really, really network is like the biggest thing I can say. Besides just a steady streaming schedule and being consistent, network, reach out to other people. You know what I mean? And this goes back to the whole team.
I'd pick game selection. Game selection was something that I focused on very heavily, and everybody wants to pick the big games. Everybody wants to play Far Cry 5 today. Everybody wants to dive into it and then gets upset when, and for understandably, this is not a no, stay down and keep quiet. Everybody gets upset when they get gobbled up by the 10 big dogs up there who all have 4 digits. Yeah. Game selection can be absolutely critical. Don't pick the top games. Don't pick the new releases. I know you want to play it. Mm-hmm. Get around to that 2 weeks later. You can get into it and still find a place for yourself. Mid-range, semi-hyped indie titles. That's what if you're variety. That's an important distinction.
That's
if you're
huge.
Variety,
that's huge.
If you're trying to grow, I think that's a big one. That's one that I focused on.
And I would focus on that early. Like I'm going to be honest. There's no problem planning what type of stream you're going to be. And
having a vision. Absolutely.
Exactly. Have a vision for what you want your stream to be and execute that vision. I knew
that way with the ups and the downs, the vision keeps you centered.
Exactly.
Right. And that's really important.
And that's where I come back to the community. You know what I mean? Make sure that your community knows where your head's at. Even if you feel like you had a shitty stream or a crappy stream, pardon me. You had a crappy stream and not, chat wasn't rolling as fast as you wanted it to.
Yeah.
As long as you are in tab and you know where you're headed, and that's huge. And whether or not you want to be variety or whether or not you want to be somebody that plays Fortnite all day, there's nothing wrong with playing Fortnite all day if that's what you want to do.
Sure.
If you want to play I don't want to play Fortnite. I have no desire to play Fortnite. I don't like the game. I don't hate people that play Fortnite. Having said that, I just personally don't want to play it, so I don't play it. Know what you want to do, because if you're doing what you want to do, you're going to be more passionate. You're going to want to actually get up and stream for 10 hours straight. And yeah, really, really game selection is huge. Knowing whether or not you want to be variety or whether or not you want to be, okay, I'm going to play shooter.
Yeah, I think that stuff comes back down to the vision element as well. Business plan, vision. Yeah.
Honestly, plan it out. It sounds, on the face, it looks like just lazy, we're playing games. But really, the more you plan it out, the more, I'm not talking like you have your 2-week plan, you have your month-long plan, 6-month, 1 year. You know where you want to be in the future, whether it's 5 years down the road, 10 years, whatever it is. Have a plan and try to execute that plan. And that plan can change. And you can shift that plan around, but have a vision and go with that. I'd say is probably the most important thing.
Yep.
I would agree. That's great advice right there.
And also,
our next question is
go ahead. Know that partnership is not
real quick.
I have to say this. Partnership, it's one thing to say getting to partner. Partnership is not your end goal. That's when it starts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like I have to throw that on there. Partnership is where it starts, and know that vision.
I am glad that you mentioned that.
Carry you through the affiliate badge. It's going to carry you through partnership and onward to whatever success you want to have is through that vision.
Absolutely.
Partnership is not the end game.
Honestly, with the affiliate system that's out right now, partnership isn't even like it's not. I don't know. It's it's almost like it should be less of a goal, and you should be focusing just more on
It's a
your
stepping stone.
community and your growth and stuff like that. And then if you happen to hit the metrics and get
Yeah.
partnership, that's awesome. That's obviously like something worth celebrating.
It appears
But
like one step now.
Yeah.
It is.
It used to be an end game thing. And I think that the affiliate, like Loco's saying, has really made it no longer seem as much of an end game. And it really is just a stepping stone.
That's a really good perspective, Loco.
I agree.
Yeah. So then our next question is an interesting question, because I think it's something that every streamer will tell you that they struggle with. How do streamers maintain a work-life balance as almost all stream from home and essentially never leave the office behind?
One trick I do, I've just started this. I'll start talking if you guys don't talk. So just so you guys know.
I definitely have a lot to say.
Yeah, there's a lot to say to this. Just a real quick thing, if we're just giving out advice, as far as leaving work at home, what we do for a living is social media. Like really, like it is. Twitch is a form of social media, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. If you want to have any kind of a home life, have some sort of a diet when it comes to that type of stuff. For instance, my wife and I don't keep our cell phones in the bedroom. We keep them in the living room, and that starts at midnight. So after midnight, we're not on our cell phones, meaning we're not scrolling through Twitter. We're not scrolling through. Maybe we're just watching Netflix. Maybe we're playing a hand of cards. Whatever we're doing.
Clear demarcation.
Really make a draw. You got to draw a line in the sand, dude.
Yeah.
No, seriously, you have to draw a line in the sand and basically say, all right, this is where home life is, even though your work is your home. Like this is a spare bedroom in an apartment. Like this isn't an office. It's my office, but it's a spare bedroom in an apartment. This is my home. I sleep 10 feet that way. You know what I mean? We're all right here. So you have to like draw a line. You know what I mean? And one little thing that I do is say, okay, after midnight, no social media, meaning no cell phones. And it's just like a little thing. There's a lot of things you can do though.
It's a little big thing though.
It's huge. It's huge. And it has actually massively impacted my life. And you wouldn't think it till you do it. And then you're like, oh, it's after midnight, no Twitter. And you know how many hours you spend just scrolling the home thing on Twitter? Like
I don't know how many hours.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. And it's good. It's good to be in
contact. The thing I've been very attentive of lately is that I will just be walking around and reach into my pocket. It's always in the same, one of two pockets, always on the left side. And I'll pull out my phone. And I did that this morning. I had just put it away because I was looking at Twitter. And then I got up and walked somewhere else and I pulled it out because that's my habit, is I got to look at Twitter now.
Last night, I literally answered something on Twitter on my PC, shut down my PC for the night, picked up my phone,
I do that all the time.
And opened up Twitter. And
I'll do that like at my computer.
Wait, both at the same time?
What Twitter's doing? Like, yeah.
That happens to me where I'll have Twitter up on my monitor and then I'm like, okay, like, and I grab my phone and I'm like, I open up Twitter, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just staring at Twitter with two different things. It can be addictive. I would say like physically leaving the house is gonna help your mental fortitude so much when it comes to like actually like, because you work at home, you live at home, you need to like get out and get some fresh air, go take a walk, go do something social with friends or something. I know this is hard for a lot of people, but like physically being away from your office, which involves leaving your house, is something that you should try to do regularly.
And I think in addition to that, and this is a point that I make regularly, and I'm trying to actually follow it, so I'm not a big fat hypocrite. Is that, and this, I think this is universally true. This is something that I experienced as an artist before I started streaming. The more well-rounded you make your life, the more things you get to bring into your creative acts as a creative individual. So going out and just watching a movie, sitting down on Netflix and binge watching Chef's Table while you gorge on pizza. It doesn't matter what it is. Doing things, well, it sort of does, but
I want your life.
it can be very broad. Read a book, read the news, hang out with friends, go take a walk, go take a hike. And it can literally be down the street. This is something that I had to do because when I got partnered, there was a big upset that happened on my channel from technical problems. And I had to, it just so happened that I had watched Dropped Frames and I got some advice from Ezekiel III and Nasty Mexican about how to like arrange some of your stuff. And it's helped me to this day. One of them was literally go for a walk down your street. You don't have to plan out something crazy. It doesn't have to be a 3-hour long hike. It doesn't have to be a week-long backpacking trip. Get out and walk. the thoughts that happen that get to bubble up and the ones that you arrange into the back of your mind, the way that you try and problem solve accidentally, it's just the way that the mind is structured. Subconsciously, you're allowed so much more liberty internally, and that gives you so much more freedom when you get back into the creative act. And in this case, when you're engaging with other people, when you're thinking about the ways that you want to tweak your brand or new creative projects you want to bring to the stream, that stuff, you think about it in a very fundamentally different way when you're not in the same space physically and mentally, day in and day out, sitting at your computer, eating at your computer. That's been my life many times over. But you get stagnant. So getting yourself out and into these other situations reduces that stagnation.
I really like that point that you made about you going out and getting experiences brings you something to bring back to the channel.
Absolutely.
And it kind of ties into and it ties into another question someone asked, which is like, what do you talk about when no one's watching? Having more experiences allows you like an endless amount of things to talk about. And I'll notice, like, if I am just working all the time, which I get into the mode very often, where I'm just working and streaming and working, and then I go to stream, and then I'm like, okay, what kind of things can I talk about? What's new in my life? Because I always am trying to connect with my community. And I'm like, I haven't done anything. I haven't really watched anything. I haven't gone outside. I haven't seen a movie. Like, I have no stories to tell the stream. And so go out and get those experiences, and don't be afraid to like take a breather from the stream. Like, take a day off and get some air and get some experiences. Because
I just had my 4th day off.
Like in a row? Like in a row?
No.
I was like, I can't imagine you taking 4 days off in a row. Like.
Yeah, I did have to take 5 days off recently to get stuff situated in my head because I wasn't doing that, and it's quite kind of
I have breakdowns about every 6 months.
Right, exactly.
All of a sudden, I'm like, guys, everything's canceled.
I wasn't managing myself at all, so I needed to specifically designate out a big chunk of time, and that ties into a burnout situation, right? That's something that we all want to fortify ourselves against. If you're regularly taking that time for yourself and to manage yourself internally, you're much less likely to run into a burnout scenario, which you don't want.
But everybody that hears that bit of advice, take some time away from the stream. Everybody that hears that, immediately the first voice in their head is going to be, but if I take time off, then I'm going to lose
mine too.
And I'm saying that because that's what everybody thinks. Everybody thinks that because it's
literally everybody.
Because literally it's true. And
yes and no, because if you reinvigorate and refresh your stream, if you take that time off and you keep yourself
that's
in
what
that
I'm saying.
That's where it's hard to see.
If you're not streaming, you're not making money. That's just a fact. Like, if you're not streaming, you're not making money. Or
in those moments,
even if you're not financial yet, even if you're small time and you're not financial yet, and you're not making any money at all, you're not making any progress. If you're not streaming, then you're not out there, and you're not. That is a true thing on one hand, but at the same time, that has to be a truth that you are just okay living with. If you're not actively streaming, then nobody's actively subbing to you.
Right.
But you have to understand that you need to take a break from streaming, or else the stream is going to break down. You are going to break down.
And that's a work smarter, not harder scenario, right? That we all struggle with regularly.
Yeah. But it's one of the, it's maintenance. It's maintenance. Nobody likes cleaning the toilet. All right. But if you being real, it's maintenance. It's personal maintenance. Nobody likes cleaning the toilet, but if you don't clean the toilet, everything's gonna be full of crap. You know what I mean? Like, and it's gonna look horrible and smell. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a crappy time. Like, literally. Yeah. So what you actually need to do is just it's maintenance. Nobody likes doing maintenance, but it has to be done. And maintenance for yourself is get out. This is coming from an agoraphobic, somebody that does not leave the house. Like, I have panic attacks if I leave the house. So this is huge for me. Like, I don't get out much. I really don't. But even I force myself to get outside and get, so many minutes of walking in a day. Get that one panic attack in walking around the neighborhood. It's to where
I'm proud of you, dude. That's because that is tough as heck.
It's really hard, man. Like, I'm sweating thinking about it. No, but it's one of those things where I can preach that all day. Get out, have new experiences. When was the last time I went to the theater? Like, it's been forever since I went and saw a movie. You know what I mean? Because I have panic attacks in theaters, so I don't go. But I still know the wisdom in saying, no, seriously, get out there, have new experiences. I went out to the Far Cry 5 event in San Francisco back in February. Went out there to the launch event. Constant panic attacks. Flying, are you kidding? Like, all these new experiences. I'm shooting crossbows, riding around in ATVs, doing all this crazy stuff, having a constant panic attack the whole time with 50 people there. But I'm able to come back and be like, guys, I had this awesome time. And I seriously did have an
Yeah.
amazing time, but it was not easy. It was not, I had to get way outside of my comfort zone as a streamer that slowly built up walls around himself in his office, getting comfortable with what he's doing. You have to be able to knock those walls down and get out there and get new experiences, frankly. And whether that's, you don't even have to stream it. Like, don't just go out and have
and actively don't stream it is my recommendation.
I would agree with that. Actively don't stream it. Don't think like, oh, I'm going to go down to the arcade and, oh, we could do an IRL thing and we could, this is going to go great. This is going to look great on social media. Like, you have to develop yourself as a person. I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel when I came to streaming, I had a lot more to offer because I was fresh, because I had all these experiences from 25 years of living that I could sit there and just draw on for stories and my opinions on movies or television or politics, whatever we're going to be talking about. I had that. And then I've been inside an office streaming for the past 4 years. Yeah. And now it's like, well, I've been here. So, you know what I mean?
There was another question that was like, when you start streaming and you don't have anybody watching, there's nobody there. Like when even if you end up with 5 concurrents, at some point and people are chatting somewhere in there, whether or not it's when you start streaming that day or when you start streaming in general, what do you talk about? And I think this goes to exactly that point. The more well-rounded you make your own life, like actively try to do things, the more relatable you immediately become. And you have things that you can try to bring into the stream that otherwise that I struggle with, because all I do is stream. I talk about streaming related stuff because that's what I know, because that's what I do.
Yeah.
The fresher that you make yourself, the more relatable you immediately become, which in turn, that doesn't draw people in because they, you've got what game you're playing and where you are in the categories and what your thumbnail is and so on. But once people get in there, that relatability goes for miles.
And I do have like 2 good articles on our website that help to supplement the answer to this question. So if you're wondering more about how to avoid like not running out of things to talk about, definitely, I'm going to link them right here. Definitely check out these articles that I've linked if you guys want some more ideas and inspiration. They're very, very good articles. I highly recommend checking them out. And then, so kind of going off the work-life balance situation, do you guys think that streaming more hours helps grow your stream? As in streaming for 3 hours a day versus 12 hours a day? How much of a difference do you think that makes? And I think, like, obviously, yes. Like, you don't want to stream.
I love that obviously thrown in there. It's like, well, yeah.
Well, there's a caveat. Yeah. Exactly. Like, so you don't want to stream 10 minutes a day every single day. That's never going to do anything. I would say most streamers would recommend like a minimum 3-hour session, because your peak in your stream is usually not until about 3 hours into your cast. So you don't want to do anything less than that. But then on the other hand, streaming for a long period of time at a certain point will not provide any benefit. And it's kind of actually the reason why I cut an hour from my stream, I think like a year ago. I used to stream like 7 hours and I'm now streaming 6 a day, because I found myself, I was too tired in the last hour and hungry. So I was just kind of sitting around waiting for the hour to pass. And B, it was like, I had mostly, European viewers, so that there was like a change in time slot where they were all going to bed, and my viewership would have declined by then, and I wasn't gaining any followers in the last hour. So I was like, I could just save that hour, have more energy day to day, and not like feel like I'm like waiting.
You were benefited greatly by making that contextual decision.
Yeah,
for a single hour, and just
1 hour.
Able to be like, oh no, I can end now. Like that's huge just for your own mental well-being. And honestly, able to sit there and figure out with the metrics, be like, it's not even
how that fits in.
And honestly, some people can stream like 12 plus hours a day and they're fine, but like for me, like
that's me.
I'm a pretty quiet person most of the time. I'm pretty reserved and I'm more of a listener than a talker. So when I'm streaming, that's a lot of energy that I'm giving. So at the end of 6 hours, I'm exhausted. And like for me, going like 8+ hours is like, I get so tired. Like
that's a 12-hour
streams. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah. That's interesting.
I think this honestly ties into the whole have a vision for your stream and have a vision for what you want out of your stream. Like, who do you aspire to be like? You know what I mean? Do you want to be somebody? Are you somebody with a ton of energy And when you have a ton of energy, does it come in spurts or does it stick around for 10 hours straight?
So a lot of this is, again, a know thyself scenario.
Exactly. Really know what you are all about and know where you want to take it. I was able to stream Siege for 12 hours a day, 7 days a week for 10 months because I loved that game. Like I loved that game. And I could just play that. I would play it in my sleep. Like that's how much I love that game. I have not found the replacement for my love for that game. I'm burnt out on Siege officially. I'm actually getting back into it now, which is weird. But I have not found a game that has sated my passion for gaming as much as Siege. So my streams, therefore, have gotten shorter because I blow all my energy in the first 4 hours, 5 hours. And then if I'm like yesterday, I'm really into Far Cry. Far Cry is my favorite IP. I have early access to it. And I'm so stoked for today to be able to just go and play it. I'm probably going to stream for 10, 12 hours after this. Like really, I probably am way into the night, even if I'm getting bad numbers, even if I'm low on energy because I'm there to play Far Cry, dude. Like I'm so hyped about it. But really it's a know what you want to bring to a situation. If you are really skilled, first off, and look at somebody like Anthony Kongfan. Anthony Kongfan holds solid numbers. He is really, really skilled, but he's also very, very low energy. He streams for 10, 12, 14 hours at a time, and he does not drink caffeine. I've talked to Anthony about this, and he doesn't drink caffeine because with caffeine, that gives you a boost, but then that also gives you a drop. So he just stays level. He never drinks caffeine.
Well, he also has the abs of a god. I think he's also a machine. Caffeine replacement.
I was going to say he's also a machine because this guy knows. You want to talk about knowing yourself? This guy knows how his body works. He knows.
Yeah,
like if you ever see his Instagram, he takes pictures of his fridge. He's like food for the week. It's like the most OCD crazy person like fixed out his. Every meal is labeled and like perfect, so he knows exactly when he's going to grab a meal. He knows how many. It's crazy, but he's not one of these. Hey guys, all right, we're rolling in hot. Oh, I'm the number one.
That's me right there.
Time or whatever thing. He's not that, but he's extremely successful. He's very respected, and I have a massive amount of respect for Anthony, and I really look up to him as somebody where it's like, okay,
he's constructed it around his own needs,
exactly,
and his own function.
He knows himself, and he's able to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And he has made that, he's almost perfected that, you know what I mean? Like really gotten down to this is how I am and this is how I function. Yeah. So if you're somebody that blows all your energy in the first 4 hours, don't worry about doing a 10-hour stream. Hit that 4-hour mark and then be like, all right, guys, consistency though.
I think this goes, oh, sorry, Loco.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say this goes into, I think, another, crap, I might have lost it. I might have washed it away as I was like, "Oh no, Loco! I want to hear this."
I don't have that problem.
No,
I just keep going. I just get louder. No, I'm sorry.
No, I think I lost it. Sorry.
I guess like what I was gonna say was, obviously like just know yourself. It's two things: know yourself and know your numbers too, because that's a combination. That's the combination that I looked at when I was looking to cut an hour for my stream, because now I have an extra hour to relax, recover, and then get some work done. So I'm still working the same amount of hours that I was otherwise. It's just that hours being put in a different.
You're answering
part
emails.
Of the job.
I got it.
Exactly. All right, you got it.
Oh, it's almost slipping out again. Why is this happening? I've got
think about it. Just talk.
Oil in my head. That everything's just like
nailing Jill over the wall.
I think this is a matter of constructing things toward your needs, and I think there's an important distinction I've started to make based on Picasso's good artist borrow, great artist steal idea. His sentiment, the idea in that statement is that when you see what somebody else is doing, if you mimic what they're doing, you are borrowing. It is not your own thing. It is their thing that you happen to be doing. When you steal it, in a very literal sense, stealing it is trying to make it your own thing, right? You take it off of somebody else, out of somebody else's house, and now you have it. Stealing it is making it your own. So adapting that to what we're talking about here, you have all of these, like role models in streaming. For my first one was Duck Sauce. He's the guy who got me started streaming. Looking at him, if I were to borrow, I would simply try to replicate what he does and not adapt it to myself. But I think adapting what you see other people doing to you, making it your own, making your own version of it is is vital and fundamental. And I think when it comes to scheduling, that's also very true. You might see somebody who's doing 12-hour streams and they're hitting a lot of success and they're keeping their energy up. That doesn't mean that you can do that. That doesn't mean that you're going to find any success at all doing that. If like what Loco was saying is you can't, if you're getting 6 hours and 1 minute in and you start to see yourself tanking a little bit, the enjoyability of your stream isn't there. You're not having as much fun with it. Other people aren't having why do it? Cut that hour off, make that more productive in any other way. Even if it's going and making yourself some food, if it's going for a walk, if it's planning out stuff for your stream, or you don't have to be on camera and entertaining, adapting it to what you need, knowing yourself, making those things your own, whatever it happens to be, is, I think, vital. It's fundamental.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very true. So our next question is, in your opinion, what is the mindset that someone has to be in if they want to go full-time as opposed to staying part-time?
That's an interesting one. That's a real interesting one.
What mindset do you have to be in?
Yeah.
To want to make that transition, I think.
To want to make that transition? I mean, like, who wouldn't want to do what we do? In my opinion,
I think a lot of people.
If you're doing it part-time and you like what you're doing, you know what I mean? If you like what you're doing, if you can't wait to get home from your day job to start up your part-time job of streaming and you want to do this, then yeah, segue into that. You know what I mean? I personally, I look on streaming at this point. This is not a career for me. It's a job. Like I do the work. I show up on time. No, I don't. No, I really look at this more of a job, because when I'm 60 years old, I don't want to be streaming. I want to be a writer. So at this point, right, I am streaming as a job. And then in my free time, I'm gleefully writing a book. You know what I mean? And so if right now you're at a job and you are just in it for a job, not a career, you're just there at your job to pay bills, and you want to be streaming games to pay bills. You know what I mean? If you want to make that your job, go ahead and pull the trigger on that. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that's the mindset you have to be in my opinion.
You and I, for our current situations, we're in a different position because I started completely full-time with the full and complete and utter intention to have this be my career. Loco, I don't know where your start was. Did you start like just hobby and move into that? Are you better prepared to answer this question? Because I don't think I am.
I would say so.
Yeah, I mean, I started with no expectations or no goal. I was going to go to school for physician assistant after college, and I was like, really? Oh, I have some time. Yeah. And I was like,
left-hand turn there.
Yeah, just a little bit. But yeah, so I mean, I it all happened so fast for me, where I was like, I started streaming, I got partnered, and then I went full time in the span of 3 months. So it was all very, very fast for me. But I would say that one answer that comes to mind is having confidence and having, like, knowing that you're secure. You don't want to make the jump if you are not financially secure. And relying on tips is never a secure thing. Never. So
absolutely.
Like, you need a buffer. You need to have a good buffer. You need to have savings, and you need to have subscriptions as your primary model of income. So tips and bits and stuff is obviously a lot of streamers, like, you know, the biggest way that they are financially supported, but subscriptions are far more consistent. So
because it's predictable, you know what you're getting paid out 45 days later.
Exactly.
Right. So mindset wise, the confidence to be able to say, like, I can stream full time, you know, even if things go a little worse, like, I will still be okay. And you have that financial background to be okay, I would say.
And the saying, don't quit your day job, is so applicable here. Like, really make sure you are.
Everybody says it and means it.
I know, like, really, like, and I've said that before, and then 2 days later had people DM me saying, I quit my job as a nurse to stream full time. And I just talked to them 2 days before and said, like, don't quit your day job. This takes a lot of work. And then they literally, like, blame me later on. And it's, yeah, dude, like just make sure that it's something you want to do. Make sure you're financially set up to do that. And the thing is, it's funny because the way that's all just a bit of an outlook, you know, it depends on how you know, your perception. Because you say, you know, oh, it's a lot more secure, and it is more secure. But the way I look at what I do, I'm busking for a living. long story short, and busking is, a lot of people don't know what busking is, ironically. I use that term a lot, and then people are like, what's busking? Busking is the guy that's on the side of the road juggling with a hat, hoping that you drop by and throw a $5 bill in there. And that's how he makes his living. That's busking, or playing a saxophone, or whatever it is. I'm digitally busking for a living, and that is not a secure form of income, because I'm not one of the 1%. I'm not like, I'm a lower tier, I'm mid-tier to lower tier streamer. And like, I know how much money I'm making X amount of day, 45 days out, and I'm paying the bills. It's a job.
And you mentioned having a timetable for yourself when you started, right? You were like, if I can't make this financially,
I dropped into it full time, like absolutely full time. It wasn't like, oh, I still have a job here. No, like this is what I was doing full time. But I knew I had a deadline. I said, if I am not, this is not paying for itself, not only paying for itself, but paying all of my bills and completely financially supporting me within 10 months, I'm back to stocking shelves. Like I have to go get a job. And luckily for me, 6 months in, it was completely financially stable.
And so I think to Loco's point on exactly that subject is, you don't want to, if you're not the one packing your parachute, don't jump out of the plane.
Yeah.
You have to know that you have X amount of time in your savings, that if you get $0, you can still live. And if you're not making it, you still will have the opportunity to spend another month or two trying to find another career, another job. You have to make sure that things are locked in. And you have to be prepared internally to be able to handle the stress of looking at that as well.
Just be responsible is really like, it's just be a responsible adult. Just like make sure you're not penniless on the streets. Like just like you don't want to, if you jump into streaming full time, just imagine in 3 months you having to go to your parents for money. Like just imagine that before you go ahead and take the leap.
That's honestly an interesting kind of tool there.
Just imagine having to crawl back and say, oh yeah,
are you prepared for this? Because if you're not,
playing video games didn't pan out, Mom. Surprise, Mom and Dad, playing video games didn't pan out like you said it wouldn't. So here I am. Make sure that you have that security, and you know that when you leap, you're going to be good for it. Or at least have an exit plan. Like I left, but I had an exit strategy. It was like, okay, 10 months is the line, and then I'm gone.
Next question. Does the username matter to someone who wants to make a career in streaming from the perspective of it making things difficult to remember? I have always considered changing my name, but I've had YouTube for years and see it as a big risk to take. I have changed my username, actually.
Who asked that question?
I'm not actually sure. I did not note that down.
I was going to say, because we can look at the name.
79, like
right.
I actually did change my name. It wasn't a major change. I just cut out the numbers to my username, and on other social medias, I still have the 2525. But having a lot of numbers or something that's not easily pronounceable, it can, or even something that can spellable. Is that a word? Like something that's not easy to spell or say. Or something with a lot of numbers is definitely, if it's something that you want to make a career, is definitely not a great idea. It's doable, but you're just adding like a debuff to your career.
Yes, that's a great perspective.
It's literally a debuff. Everything, use every tool possible. I would say absolutely. To answer the question, absolutely. The name is everything. I think so. Why I said GeneralMittenz. All right. Everybody calls me Mittens or Mitts if you want to get really short, but Mittens is something that you remember, especially with the cat thing, yada, yada, yada. The general thing works well. It just plays in. That was a very carefully decided name. My old name was Amara, Aamaira. Nobody pronounced that right. That's on me. It was an old World of Warcraft name. And it matters. Like, it still matters. People, people call me all different things. Amaria, like just nobody knew how to pronounce it. So, and I can't blame them. That's not on them. That's on me designing a crappy ass name. That's what it comes down to. Loco 2525. You can still say, oh, Loco. Everybody's gonna call it Loco.
At the very least, you have something to start with. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, if brevity's your jam, you can work with it.
And if you have numbers in the name, it's not going to be a big deal. Like Loco was able to make it Loco 2525. Don't have it be something, but honestly, short answer, yes. Ninja would not be Ninja if his name was Big Fatty was 27. Like, I don't know, something really weird and random. No, it's Ninja. Short, simple, boom. He is the face of Twitch.
Taco 37 Turtle 89 would not work out if that were his name.
It might mean something to him.
Yeah.
Everybody else, he's just crazy.
Yeah.
No, the name, honestly, the name is huge, and it's not going to be the be all end all. There are people who are successful, who pay the bills, who have extra money, whatever you measure success by. There are people who are successful who have just random names. Sacriel, for instance. That's an old World of Warcraft name of his that was just better than my old World of Warcraft name. You know what I mean? Like, he still has a career doing that. It's not going to break you, but just like Loco said, it's going to buff you. And if you can, anything you can do to facilitate you doing well in this industry, right off, remember this: nobody is in this to help you. You are that's the hardest thing about this industry is you are like the captain of your ship, and you're going to go down with the ship. Nobody else is going to go down with you. Like, nobody, like if you go down in flames, nobody else is going down with you. This is all you.
Yeah, this is on you.
So it's really all on you. Anything that you can use, any tool to make this a possibility. If this is what you want to do, yes, do it. If it means a name change, do it. But
at the same time, so I was just talking to somebody last night, somebody who was DMing me about wanting to do a rebrand, and was saying things like, over the last couple of weeks, I've had a drop in numbers, so I've been thinking about doing a rebrand.
Whoa.
Hazards with that, but it's a separate question. One of the things that came up was, I was thinking about dropping the TV from my name, because I think that would make a critical difference. And I think it's the qualities of that. I think it's super common to have that same kind of mentality. There's not 99% of the time. I think I could be wrong about this, but I want to note that there's not actual magic in a name. No. Most of the time, somebody isn't going to see a name and go like, "Oh, I'm never going to leave that channel." Like it's everything. Maybe it draws a couple extra people in a week, and that's valuable. That's certainly valuable, but it's not going to do all the work for you. It's really important to have, a decent theme and a thematic tie-in with your name, hopefully. But it's not going to do all the work for you. That's so huge. As important as it is to have a really good name, and I think that I completely agree with everything that you guys are saying about forging it, because it's an identity and it has to be recognizable, it has to be memorable.
It's not going to make or break you, but it can make or break you. It can hinder you slightly, or it can help you a little bit.
Absolutely.
I would rather have my name help me a little bit than hinder me.
Every single pebble that you can put on one side of the scale to help you be more successful is definitely valuable.
Exactly.
That's certainly true.
This is not an easy job. No. You are uphill both ways on this.
In the snow with upside down cactus boots.
All of it. And anything you can do to help you along.
Totally.
Your name. Absolutely. Totally. Then again, I wouldn't lose sleep over it. If you're like, I have TV at the end of my name.
I think that's the balance. Yes.
Don't lose sleep over it. No, man. Like, maybe one day when you have bigger problems. There are bigger fish to fry than worrying about whether or not those extra few numbers.
Your time can be spent so much better than rebranding, trying to make sure that you got the right name to take off the TV or take off 2 numbers at the end of your name.
Exactly.
You can take care of that later. You really can. That's not the first issue.
Yeah. I mean, I on the other hand, I debated back and forth a long time when I was thinking about dropping those numbers, and then when first made it the function available, I was like, I gotta do it. It was like it's a lot to consider. But
it is.
You guys made some really good points about that. Next question is, between a 50-hour week job and trying to stream, and at the top of my own depression, what would you say to try and keep me motivated to keep pushing the development of my stream?
Oof, that's a loaded question.
I kind of want to say that one's personal. Like, I'm not sure that I would feel comfortable making a broad claim about that without talking to that individual one-on-one.
Yeah, that's how I feel as well. But at the same time, a lot of people feel that way, and that's not, I mean, like it's a common feeling. 50-hour week job, trying to stream, and on top of my own depression. What would you say? Try and keep me motivated and pushing the development of my stream. Honestly, first off, before worrying about your stream, this is me speaking from personal experience, I would tackle that depression. How I tackled my depression personally was through streaming. That's how I did it. That's the tool that I use to help me tackle depression. When I started GeneralMittenz, I was still going weekly to a counselor, to a therapist. I was doing all that stuff. I was trying to figure out I was going to a doctor every week as well, trying to figure out what meds I should be on. And I really tackled that. That's huge. If you're depressed in your life, it's like clinical depression. I'm not just saying like, I'm sad today, so I read online that means I'm depressed. Like, no, dude, like I'm talking like legit depression. If you're actually clinically depressed, that is your numero uno. That's
you
what
have sunk into the darkness of your soul. That version of depression. Yeah.
This is the darkness, and this is the big evil that you'll have voices coming to you in the night saying, why bother?
Yeah.
And you will listen to those voices and you can't control them. And that's scary, scary shit.
Yeah.
So don't worry about streaming is really my first thing. And I know that like this person wants to stream. If you find joy in streaming, do it. But really, if you are depressed, and maybe you're just throwing the word around, but if you are depressed, tackle that shit. You have to own that, because this isn't just streaming. This isn't your career. This is your life. This is your life. All right. Like that depression is going to follow you from career to career to hobby to hobby. If you're depressed, tackle it. Like that's like,
but I think that ties into another important factor, which is there's something I have written down here. I have a ton of post-it notes with stuff like this. Find someone to help you through life. That's one that I was looking at right here. And I think help, and it's used all the time, but don't let it be a diluted term when you hear it. Absolutely straight up find help in each one of those facets. Find somebody to help you with streaming, more than just one person. Find a community to help you with streaming, people that you can bounce around ideas with, people who can hear out the stuff, that all the crazy stuff that's going to be flowing forth from your mouth, like it does from mine when you're running through problems, running into issues, especially if you are not just in a temporary singular depressive episode. I have an entire history of repeated the ups and downs, right? It recurs. So having people when you're in those moments that you can actually reach out to, as well as people that maybe you can multi-stream with to help you along. If you struggle with those things coming out on stream, somebody who can balance you on that.
And this comes back to the team thing mentioned before.
Absolutely.
If you're looking for a team, and my biggest thing that I get from a team is not, okay, here my numbers are going to go up, because they probably won't.
They probably won't.
No, like I'm not thinking about like, ooh, money, the numbers, the opportunity. I'm thinking, holy crap, here's people that are on my level that I can talk to.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, if you have 5 people in your stream, you can still find a stream team and have like-minded individuals. If there's 10 people on a stream team and all of them have less than 10 viewers, you guys still are able to be there and go through all those struggles together. And that is huge.
Yes. And statistically speaking, you should be easier to create a stream team with similar sized people if you're not massive.
Yeah, exactly.
Because think about that. There's so many more people that are in the same boat as you in that 0 to 2 viewer range, in that 5 to 30 viewer range.
And I am not for a second supporting the total BS that is support small streamers.
Absolutely.
That has left a sour taste in my mouth from day one. And only recently was it like popular to be like, isn't this stupid? Yeah, it is. And like now everybody's like, yeah, that is kind of stupid.
Support yourself and your fellow small streamers doing this thing.
No, just support your fellow streamers. Once you realize we're all in this together, even though I'm paying bills and I'm a successful non-small time streamer, I still lay awake at night worrying that I'm not going to be able to pay my bills in 3 months because I'm freaking busking for a living. Like if you guys don't show up and sub until I don't make money, even if I put in 60 hours a week, you know what I mean? That stress is still going to be there if you're not a small time streamer. We're all in this together. So anyway,
absolutely.
Literally just you can make have people on a team, whether you don't have to have an official team, but have that group of people that's first off positive.
That's an important
and will reinforce you, like really reinforce you and help you not just be an echo chamber to be like, guys, I'm really down. And they're all like, yeah, we're really down too. Like, no, like find people that where you can voice your opinions and they'll actually come back and help you work through a problem. This is really important, not just for streaming, but in life in general.
Like, I think that's something that Loco is like fantastic at. She's like an amazing sounding board, also like a brilliant cheerleader, like doing all those jobs like all at once.
And that's the biggest thing I get out of a team, and I would get that out of a team whether or not it was big streamers or small streamers or
absolutely
stream. You know what I mean?
Because they're always humans, and that's the same level playing field right there. No matter what the numbers are, exactly. It's like relating to other people who are doing the same thing. That's the value.
And if you're a small time streamer looking to grow your stream, if you act like, oh, I'm just a small time streamer around bigger streamers, they're not going to want to hang out with you. Being really honest. I'm talking like, I'm not going to want to hang out with you. I'm talking like Co doesn't want to hang out with me. You know what I mean? And that, like, if you act small, you're going to be small. This is
when you introduce the hierarchy to somebody.
Exactly. When
then the hierarchy is suddenly there.
Small time streamer. Well, you put that label on yourself. No, you're
I was just interested in talking to a person who was right in front of me.
Yeah.
Because we both like bacon cheeseburgers or whatever.
Yeah. Find the common ground. Don't find the common ground with everybody, whether it's streamers, whether it's your viewers, whoever. Don't look for ways to separate yourself from the herd. Don't look for ways to be like, oh, well, I'm just this, or don't pigeonhole yourself off. And
don't put the word just anywhere. I'm just fill in the blank.
I'm just a character streamer. I'm not a character streamer. I'm a dude that's depressed a lot. Like, but I'm not just a dude that's depressed a lot.
Having confidence is such an important quality in being a streamer, and it's not easy to come by. But you know, you're like, especially when you're representing your channel to someone in person, like at a convention stuff, you don't want to like people. It's the same in like real life, where you don't want to be like self-deprecating all the time. We're like, oh, I'm just some little streamer, what do I know? It's like, you're never gonna be taken seriously or held to the same respect as anyone else if you are self-deprecating.
Yeah.
So,
and honestly, fake it until you become it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You absolutely play as though you are the thing that you want to be next year. Yeah. And eventually you will find yourself being that thing next year without even noticing. You're just suddenly on the other side of it.
Hunter, and you say that this thing next year at my speech at Twitch Yearly, standing room only, Kappa Theater, I said to everybody, like 1,400 people, I said, last year I was back there. And I was able to say that because 1 year at TwitchCon, I was scribbling notes at every panel, at every little thing, saying, okay, how can I better myself? How can I do it? And I literally, last year, I was in the back of this room, and now I'm up here. And that in my mind was success. It was like, this is success. I might not be ninja. I might not be lyric. I might whatever, but I've made it as far as I'm concerned on Twitch. Like I'm really proud of my journey, and I didn't have to have crazy, you know, I don't even hold 1,000 concurrents. You know what I mean? But I feel as though I'm successful. And that's why I'm saying, when you first start out, define success. And that ironically is something that when I first started streaming, it was I literally Googled the phrase. This is back before I started my first channel, Amera. I Googled the phrase, how to have a successful career on Twitch. That's the mindset I was in 4 years ago. I Googled the phrase, how do I have a successful career on Twitch? And a video from Brotato popped up. It had the word successful and career in it, and Twitch. So I went ahead and watched that. And basically the very first thing he said was, define your success. Mm-hmm. And I still hold to that. Like, I still hold to that. And I've watched Bro change his branding over the years. I've seen him change, whether or not he says this, you can tell that he's changed how he defines success. He's more comfortable with who he is as a person now. He's grown older, et cetera, et cetera. You can go on about that. But define success for yourself. If you want to be somebody that's just like rolling in money and subs and licorice and all that good stuff, you're gonna have to work harder. You know what I mean? But if you're somebody that's like, I just want to be able to stream video games, hang out with a cool community, and pay my bills. Yeah. You know, set your bar and know where you want to be. Know what success means to you, because that's everything. And I defined my success, you know, before I got up on that stage at TwitchCon. But you want to say 1 year to the next. That was so crazy. That was so crazy for me to be able to be like, no, last year I was back there. You can do it too.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That was awesome.
I was like, that's the most scared I've ever been in my life. Like, seriously, I've never been that scared before. That was insane.
It's interesting because, like, public speaking is something that traumatizes me. I hate public speaking. I get so nervous. It's
the number one fear of people in the world. Like, besides like sharks. No, like seriously, like, people death is number 2. Public speaking is number 1. I'm not kidding. I'm not making that up.
Where's your source?
I'll Google it right now. No, seriously, this is always death is the second thing that people are afraid of behind public speaking. It's like the number one thing people are afraid of, and it makes sense.
I don't know. If I had to choose between death
no, like if you were getting a choice, it's like get on the stage. In the moment, people would probably fill out the poll differently. You know, if they had a gun in there, probably fill out the poll differently. But you know, when polled, I should say that when polled, people said that they were more afraid of public
I mean, yeah, it's something as simple as like on a scale of 1 to 10, how afraid of you of public speaking? You might be like a 9 or 10. If you're like, how afraid are you of death? You might be like,
7.
yeah, 7. It's a solid 7. Like, I don't want it, but
And then they're
it
like,
comes to everybody.
you sure about that? And you're like,
You
no.
might be able to get out of life without public speaking. You can't get out of it without death. So like facing that at some point, like, it's kind of reasonable.
Yeah,
it's true. So I think we have about 2 more questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. Otherwise, we'll be here all night because I think it's super easy for us to just chat away. So the penultimate question is, I feel like I'm on a good way to partnership, but 75 average viewers is just a tough nut to crack open. Any tips on how to increase that?
Networking.
This is a tough question.
I'm being really, really serious. That's my number one thing is networking. That's the best thing. Cross-pollination is how I refer to it. And I think most people do. Cross-pollination between your community and other communities. Spending more time in other people's communities, not as, hey, I'm a streamer and this is, hey guys, I'm going to be streaming later. So, I'm about to go stream this game on myself. Don't be that annoying piece of crap. All right.
Yeah,
don't do that. No. Don't do that because viewers don't like seeing that. It leaves a bad taste in their mouth. Streamers hate it. And you're not going to be good with those guys.
I mean, it's like, we know what you're doing. Like,
just be part of, instead, just be part of that community. If you are somebody that's active in 3 different channels for the 2 hours before you go live, you never once have to say, I'm a streamer. You never once have to say, I'm going to go off and stream now. You don't have to be that dick. I
can tell you what's absolutely worked for me. I don't mean to get things going for me. I mean, in the other direction for me, handing that out to other people. When I'm in a category and I see somebody who's been watching my stream for 2 years and is active in the chat and they're streaming it, I'm like, oh, here comes the host. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to sub as an affiliate. I'm going to drop, 5K cheer. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to pump them up because I'm already friends with them. I just didn't know that they streamed because that's the etiquette is you don't, usually don't talking about it.
And I love that you guys are saying this. Keep going.
Oh yeah, dude. This is the number one thing. Really become part of other communities. Yeah, you want your community to grow, but guess what? Rising tide raises all ships. Okay?
Absolutely.
So if you go into somebody else's channel and spend an hour just hanging out and talking with people, don't bring up that you're a streamer. You don't have to. Just be a decent freaking human being. All right? I'm being really serious. Just go be a decent human being around Twitch, and that crap will come around to just tenfold for you.
Absolutely. I'm not at some point. It's not reliable. It's not going to happen next week necessarily. It may happen next year. But if you're ready to seize that moment, boom.
And while those weeks and years pass, stay consistent with your schedule.
Yeah.
Keep hitting all your marks. Keep streaming, doing that thing. But really cross-pollination, spending time in other people's channels. And when I say networking, I'm not just saying make sure you're playing with bigger streamers. No, that is awesome. That is networking and that will cross-pollinate. But honestly, you're going to get more love from people finally dropping that big raid and saying like, oh man, I came over on the Hunter raid, dude. Oh man, I like what you're all about. Because you've been hanging out in Hunter's channel, then you play games with Hunter one time because you nag him until he plays games with you and he has a multi-link in his channel. That's not going to bring you as many followers, as much love as Hunter being like, guys, this dude is the tits. Let's go support the hell out of him.
Right.
That's everything. I got 1,000 followers in 1 hour because Manverse Games shouted me out when I first started. Because he knew me from my old channel and I've talked to him multiple times at cons and he knew me as a person, not as a streamer, but he saw the article on Kotaku about GeneralMittenz and he saw that, he read it and he saw me to say, hey guys, what's up in his channel? And he stopped his whole stream and said, guys, go follow GeneralMittenz. Yeah. And I went from 1.5 thousand to 2.5 thousand followers in less than an hour because man was like, do this. And they went and did it. Yeah. It took me 2 years of hanging out in his channel, just being a not piece of shit human being.
Well, because you enjoyed being there.
Exactly. That's my point.
Just like being on stream.
Shout out. I wasn't there. Yeah. Man, hopefully one day this'll, if I keep shoveling coal, they'll shout me out one day. Like that's not why I was there. I was there because I genuinely like this community. I love going and hanging out in communities where I really, really just love the streamer and love the community. Do that more, and that will come around to help your stream in a massive way. And it's so weird, but it's like if you give, then you'll get back. And it's one of those it doesn't really make sense things. Like the best part of Christmas is giving gifts, not getting it. It's that type of mentality. It's like if you're just willing to go support other people and be a part of their communities, then they'll see what type of person you are and be more willing to
Well,
bring
it's just,
their heart and everything they've worked on for years and say, hey, everybody, check out this guy or this girl, check this person out. They're awesome. I vouch for them.
I sort of feel
And
like it's
having
as
that
simple as
stamp of approval.
when you love other people well, they
Mhm.
feel like loving you back. And when they see the opportunity to do that, they're like, hey, oh man, this
And
person's really
we can
excited me a lot.
And we can throw around the word positivity, or he's a positive person. We can throw that around all day and be like, oh, well, I'm all about positivity. It's all really in actions. And a lot of that love, and that genuine love it's not just something that you say or you act. It's just, you just go be a positive influence in other communities. Don't worry about breaking that 75 average viewer. Don't worry about making that. That's stuff for you to worry about in the back of your head. That's not stuff for you to worry about on stream or in other communities. Just go be an awesome person. Go be a kick-ass person, and they're going to want to come hang out with you, whether they're streamers, whether that I think that's probably the best advice for breaking that 75. That's how I broke the 75 viewer barrier. Was
honestly,
networking.
it's like it would, you took the words right out of my mouth. I honestly couldn't even add to that, because I preach that the networking thing so much, because it's a very common question, like, how do I grow? Like, the same question on how to get 75 viewers is how you get 3 viewers or your 10 viewers or 1,000 viewers. Like, networking and in the way that's been described here is the best way to grow. It's honestly, like, almost like it's just the best way. Like, just go and do that.
I agree.
I can't even. I'm trying to think of like other things that I'm like, no.
I would say going the opposite way and not networking this way. Networking hey, I'm a streamer. It's gonna hurt you just as much as the right way will help you.
Right.
If you go and say, hey, I'm a streamer,
yes.
please follow. That's actually going to do more damage than any good it's ever going to.
And likewise, in your tweets with tagging a bunch of broadcasters that you respect, like that in the right light, that feels great. Yeah. But I'm literally going to mute you, and that's
no offense. And that's like no offense.
I can never interact with you ever again now that you're muted, because every day you stream, you're tagging me in your tweets. And we were just talking about. I was just talking about that with Diction and DJ Tech Live on Twitter this morning. There's been another resurgence of this kind of thing. It's those kinds of things you definitely want to absolutely avoid, because they will damage that will.
And I think waves of things that happen like that are smaller time newer streamers. I want to say small time, newer streamers. Every streamer has the potential to be the next Ninja. And that's what you need to believe. You have the potential. Am I going to sit here and say, you're special? You're not. There's a shit ton of people in line who are just as qualified as you are. But you do have the potential to be the next Ninja.
Yeah. Those are both true at the same time.
Don't start doing something because you see other people doing it. Don't start throwing in hashtag support small streamers because there's a group of people doing that and you're small time as well. Be your own person, have your vision for what you want to do, and then execute that. If you want to be
that literally sets you apart from everybody else.
That's what sets you apart, dude. Like seriously, don't just jump on.
Absolutely true.
If you see this thing running around Twitter of, oh, tag all the people that I respect. Oh, respect Tuesday. It's Tuesday, so we're gonna respect everybody by annoying the shit out of them on Twitter. Like, it doesn't make any sense if you think about it. Anyway, don't just start doing that because you see it being a new trending thing. And, oh, all the other people my size or new streamers are doing that. Don't be that guy. Just be the person that you would you want to follow that person into battle? You know what I mean? You're following this person, meaning that they're going to be a leader. You know what I mean? So if you're going to be a streamer, you have to be ready to be a leader, because people are following you. They're following you for advice. They're following you for gameplay. They're following you to get. That's true. That's the best perspective that I've always used. It's like, you're literally, they're clicking a follow button. So that means you have to lead them, whether it's leading them in their entertainment choice for the afternoon. You still have to represent them at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
It's also, I mean, just to go, because I don't want to lose that thought, but like about the tagging everyone thing, also, like, are you finding yourself clicking on someone else's links that's doing the same thing? If they're like covered in hashtags and added usernames, like, is that working on you? Because then it's not going to work if you do it on other people.
Discoverability if it doesn't translate, then there's no point. If you're the most discoverable person in the world, watch your channel, then what's the point of doing it?
A really good question to ask is, how did you find your favorite streamers? And I can go through and honestly say, probably 95% of my favorite streamers I found through raids.
Absolutely.
That means a streamer that I knew and trusted and I was part of their community, said, hey, go check out this person. Let's all go together. I'm going to support them in a massive, getting a raid together is not easy, and getting people to come along with a raid is crazy. So anybody that supports a raid, talking to any viewers out there, if you support a streamer in a raid, that's huge. And thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's how I found most of the people that I really jive with is
Absolutely.
through raids. It's not through, I'll click on this tweet that has 75 people tagged in it and all the appropriate hashtags. That's not how I find it. Most of it's through raids. So it really, when it comes down to it, I would spend more time on Twitch and less time on Twitter, being really honest. I would spend more time on Twitch and on the platform
and
itself,
at physical events. Both of you, I met first at physical events.
You met me and then subbed to me
in person. And Loco, I met you last year's or 2 years ago's St. Jude Play Live Summit, I believe.
Yep.
Before I'd ever watched either of y'all's streams. That can also make a big difference.
Yeah.
In-person meetings are definitely like the best way to network. Like conventions and stuff. Like we have we'll be doing a convention tips episode closer to PAX.
Yes.
Which is next
so
week actually. So we'll be doing a convention tips episode. And we've done some in the past. We have articles about it because it's not something that it's something that you need to prepare for and that you should learn about. And also like to the point of the whole Twitter hashtag whatever thing, like seeing other streamers do it, you don't want to emulate your stream after another streamer that has 0 viewers that's new too and experience. Yeah. You want to model your stream after the successful streamers. Like,
that's
why
amazing
would you even
perspective.
Like why are you even looking at that?
That's a good point.
And I would add to that, not even the successful streamers, but the successful streamers that you want to be like.
Right.
Like there's certain streamers that are very, very successful. I don't want to be like Dr. Disrespect.
Oh, absolutely.
I would rather be like this person. So I will model myself out. There are many successful streamers on Twitch. You have the pick of the litter of who you want to be more like, and then model yourself after them.
Yeah,
you know
there's tons.
Just because the uber successful people all do this doesn't mean you have to do it. There are very successful people out there that don't only play first-person shooters. You know what I mean? Co-Carnage is extremely successful, and he's able to do it playing the games that he loves. You know,
a couple people watch him.
There's a few, 1 or 2. But you know what I mean? He's no ninja, you know what I mean? But no, seriously. I'm not, I love all of them. Don't get me wrong. But it's one of those things where model it after who you really want to be more like. Because that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing at the end of the day. Is it might sound childish, but it's like, yeah, you want to, I want to be ninja when I grow up. He's 4 years younger than you. What the hell? You know what I mean? But you can still model yourself after somebody who's successful. I started off by modeling my first stream after Brotato. Brotato's like 8 years younger than me or something.
Yeah.
So that was like a hurdle I had to get over. It was like, okay, I'm following in the footsteps of this kid, basically. He was like 19.
Very similar perspective to mine. When I met him in person and I told him, and it was legitimate. I was like, you give me a perspective on the man that I want to be as well as the streamer that I want to be. It was absolutely true. I'm 35, man. Like he's like a decade younger than I am. And
that's how you will. You look so much older. You look so much older. Take that how you will.
But it doesn't make a critical shift because of the age element.
No.
It's interesting.
All right. Last question before I let you guys go and play some Far Cry. Do you recommend restricting VODs to subs? I can't really see the value of that. I feel like some might check out VODs and then decide to follow sub. Am I thinking wrong? What pros, cons can there be to restricting VODs?
I've considered it.
No, don't. Okay. Just across the board, I have the policy of everybody is equal. If you want to sub to me, thank you. I don't have a sub-only Discord. I don't have a sub-only movie night. I don't have sub-only anything. Subs are treated the exact same way as everybody else. Everybody is equal because we're all there, and some of us don't have $5. That's really what it comes down to. Some people don't have, some kids don't have a credit card. They don't want to go talk to their parents or ask their parents for it. Some people are on a budget. I literally from day one with Mittens was just, this is months before I was ever partnered or ever had to think about these problems. I knew that, no, we're not going to segregate any of this in any way.
Yeah.
So subs don't get anything extra. And the whole idea of saying VODs are for subs only, I personally think it's ridiculous. But then once again, that's coming from somebody who—
what would the purpose be?
Segregate it at all.
What like devil's advocate that bad boy?
No, it's to get people to sub. That's at the end of the day.
But who would sub in order to watch a VOD?
A few people might. You might get one or two. It depends.
For bigger
Okay,
streams.
if you have 50 subs, you might get one in a month. If you have 150,000 subs and you're the most popular person on Twitch, you're gonna get maybe 7,000 subs if you put your VODs on sub only.
Yes,
and that's money. You know what I mean?
So it's as a matter of scale.
For anybody watching this podcast, don't put your VODs on. Like that's how I feel. Like don't put your VODs on sub only. If you are like the top of the 1%, you can make some scratch if you put your VODs on sub only.
It could play a role.
It's not going to affect you in any way, shape, or form. If you, don't do it. It's a dick move.
Right. I mean, and not even like, if you just want to look at it from a business perspective and not like, I just want my viewers to be equal, but purely business, you do not want to restrict your VODs because you want people to see your content. Companies, developers, community managers, other streamers, potential viewers, like you're literally saying like, I don't want this advertising. Let me just cover this up. People are not going to pay to watch your VODs.
I hate marketing.
There are millions of streamers on Twitch. You're not that special. People are going to move on and not pay you $5 to watch your past videos. So do not do that. I am so against that. Like, unless you're literally like the top streamer, I seriously, if I see someone that has their VODs behind a paywall, like I am not checking you out, and you're just losing opportunities.
Sponsors and publishers will literally go back and watch you. This is what they do. They go back and watch your VODs. Because they can't necessarily catch you live all the time, right? If you're streaming for 20 hours a day, they might be able to catch you live. If you're streaming for what everybody streams for, in that like 5 to 8 hour range, people need to be able to go back and they'll look at what types of games you have and go like, oh, that's one that's similar to ours. If it's going to be a paid opportunity for a game, they'll click on it and they'll watch. They'll see how you interact with it, how you comport yourself, how you handle bugs and work an open world, whatever it happens to be. They look at that stuff to see if you're a good fit, because otherwise they're taking somebody's word for it. They're not going to put money on the line for somebody's word unless it's like, the best friend or whatever. Otherwise, they have to be able to vet you. And they do that by looking at your content. They look at your content because it's all sitting there in a vault that they could go and watch at will. You cannot put that.
Or you can put a $5 lock on that.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? $5, and you can look at what I've been working on for a long time.
Yeah, it's like they don't even know if they want to pay you yet. They're not going to pay to see whether or not they want to pay you.
And that's one thing, just for like, if you're trying to get an opportunity with Ubisoft or something like that, that's one thing. If you're also trying to get on somebody's community stream team, and they have, as long as this guy isn't like a blatant racist, all right, so let me go watch one of his VODs real quick. Well, what? There's a paywall. What? You know what I mean? Like this isn't just
moving on.
But moving on. I'm never gonna have him on my team because he has a paywall on his freaking VODs. You know what I mean? So it's not just big developers. It's anybody. It's anybody,
absolutely.
Anybody that catches a tweet that they might have missed 22 hours before on Twitter, and suddenly there's, did you miss this tweet? So and so went live. So they click, and then obviously you're not live anymore. So they go watch your VODs, and it's behind a paywall. So I missed his tweet, and he's a jerk. Okay. Sorry, I really don't like the whole paywall, the whole VOD paywall thing. I'm like, forget it. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's like from a and
Loco said, people do it.
Yeah, it just doesn't actually.
From a business standpoint, it doesn't make sense.
Well, realistically, I think from all of the standpoints that we could bring up, unless again in the very small context that you aren't in.
Yeah,
talking to anybody who can hear us, you aren't the 10 top broadcasters on Twitch.
Like literally, that's who it is. It's 5 to 10 people who would actually be like, it's probably smart.
And then it could be feasible. And I have no complaints about that if for them doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, I totally get that. And it's so weird that I have we have this like weird double standard. But it's like,
it's not a double standard. It's a contextual standard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's if he wants to put all of his VODs behind a paywall, I get that. He's a commodity, and everybody wants to watch him.
Absolutely.
Anybody wants to come in who wants to see what Twitch is, he is now the gateway. For before Ninja, you could argue that Dr. Disrespect was, but really it was Lyric. Lyric was always the gateway. What was it? I think 20% of all, this is in 2016, 20% of all new people coming into Twitch came in through Lyric's channel. Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Ninja is the new lyric, and
Yeah.
Twitch is only getting more exposure to the layman outside of gaming, outside of everything else. And if he wants to, and everybody's going to be going to him to see what Twitch is. If he wants to put, you know, a $5 lock on his VOD, you know, vault, more power to him. Make that extra scratch. He's making $500,000 a month, so he doesn't need to. So
and he's helping us along the way. The more money.
Oh yeah, like I'm such a fan of.
How am I hurt by that?
It's crazy. Like
we get a huge benefit from that.
Yeah.
So sure. Lock him more money. Help me out with this. Yeah. I'm grateful.
Yeah. Ninja's literally like the tide that is raising all ships.
Exactly. He's the moon.
All of our little boats are.
He's the moon with the gravity well that's dragging the water in.
That's what it is.
That's absolutely.
Moon. Oh, that's brilliant. He's the moon that's creating the tides on Twitch. Good Lord.
You guys have the best analogies. I gotta say this show's had the best analogies. But that is gonna do it for us today, guys. So we're gonna do some shout outs. Mittens, first of all, thank you so much for being a lovely guest on our show.
Really glad we can get you on today.
You guys are amazing. I mean, seriously, it's awesome just coming on and talking. Like, really, this is what I love to do, and this is why you guys need to be on a team. Everybody listening, get on a team so you can just like talk about people, like with your peers about stuff that's going on. Like, this is what we're doing right here is invaluable as a streamer. I have to say that. This
absolutely.
Having this relationship with other people who are your peers, like, you know.
If you respect anything that comes out of our mouths, take this to heart.
Like, seriously, if you respected the thing I've had to say, seriously do that. Like, get in with people who are your peers, who have the same goals in mind.
Even if it's informal.
Yeah. Just do it. Do it.
And we'll have Mittens back when we do our character discussion in the future.
Yes,
and you know, if you guys liked this kind of style of show, we'll be doing this again whenever we have either some last minute cancellations or just like, you know, just a lapse to our schedule. We'll probably do more stuff like this in the future. Right. We'll just grab, you know, a streamer, a third person, and we'll be like, all right, we're going to answer your questions for the next 2 hours. So,
I love watching it. And I love participating in it.
Same. I mean, I guess honestly, you mentioned drop frames, or I know we're under time crunch. You mentioned dropped frames earlier. That literally was me. I watched dropped frames when I was in that slump after I'd pulled the plug with my first channel, and it was watching a show just like this. This is back when dropped frames only had like a couple hundred viewers, and it wasn't the 3,000 viewer, you know, show that it is, or whatever it is now, whatever the numbers are. It was just a small podcast with some streamers that I respected, and Co said that he'd done a rebrand, and they had Future Man Gaming on. And Future Man is, first off, like the OG character streamer.
He's
one of the OGs. There's like 2 or 3 of them. You know, like Warwick. Anyway, they had Future Man Gaming on, and both those guys did complete rebrands of their entire stream. And them saying that made me say, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. So this is so cool. Like, say, like, I was back there. Now I'm on this podcast. I know. How cool is that? It's the same thing. Like, I love it, dude. It's seriously, it's such an honor to be here.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Seriously.
I'm really glad that we could provide this for people.
Yeah. And if it was entertaining, then cool. Hopefully it's very informative as well.
Yeah. Mittens, tell us where we can find you on the interwebs.
On the interwebs, twitch.tv/general_mittens, mittens with a Z. I stream Tuesday through Saturday normally. Today I streamed yesterday as well because it's Far Cry, dude.
Today you're on some Far Cry 5.
My IP. And this is like, I'm not somebody to chase titles or the flavor of the month. I am a Far Cry nut. And I have been since I was 14 years old. I'm 30 now. Let's go. Like, oh my gosh, dude, Far Cry 5, it is the next level of, I could go on about Far Cry. I wish we just talked about Far Cry.
He will on his stream.
I will on my stream, gentlemen. Now, in about 15 minutes. No, but so today I'm playing Far Cry because I'm so hyped about it. But normally Tuesday through Saturday, starting at noon Pacific Standard Time, really variety broadcast. We focus on skill-based shooters and stuff like that, you know, PUBG, Siege, all that type of stuff. But really been doing a lot more of the variety recently, just doing the games that I want to play, whether it's RPGs, whether it's, you know, Into the Breach, the latest indie thing. We've just been having fun. We're really more about community than anything else. So come on in, say hey, and just be part of the community. Network, get in and just be involved. My community, hunters, local, like whoever, just get networked, get involved.
Absolutely.
Become a part of Twitch as a whole, the umbrella. So I'll be there.
Hunter?
I'll be there.
Yeah, you can find me at twitch.tv/thehunterwild. Yeah.
Sorry,
Talking about consistency earlier. My schedule is relatively consistent, except for all the times when it's not, which is usually every day when I start. Saturdays off, so 6 days a week, full on variety. And I definitely highly recommend, because I don't have the midnight turn off the phone roll. Highly recommend following me on Twitter at the Hunter Wild TV. I'm there all the time. Even when I've just got done being there, I'll be right back in there. And I love talking
He's on
to people.
there right now.
Yeah, he's actually on there right now.
I'm
he has on the desktop and on his phone right now. While just
Loco, that story tripped me out. What about you, Loco?
You can find me on twitch.tv/Loco, and I don't know what I'm playing tomorrow, so that's good. I'm very organized. I will be playing Far Cry 5, but I'm going out of town on Wednesday, so I didn't want to start it and then take a weird break.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting patiently. You can find me at twitter.com/Loco2525. And last but not least, guys, if you haven't checked out the website, StreamerSquare.com, I definitely recommend it. It's got a lot of fantastic materials, stuff that we've talked about today, and definitely check out our YouTube as well. There's a lot of content from past shows. We have other shows that go live here on the channel every week as well, so you definitely want to give the Twitch a follow on top of that.
Yeah, there was one yesterday, right?
Yes, we have like another show that talks about business and streaming, and they've been talking about taxes and tax tips for streamers. So it's a super informative show, right? So if you're not connected to our Twitch and our Twitter, you definitely need to keep an eye on that, because like the content that we've been having on the Twitch channel lately has been super helpful. Even like for me, I'm still learning every time I do the show or I watch a show.
Remember my notes every time I show Loco my notes. It's just this huge. It's very informative.
And seriously, StreamerSquare, things like this weren't around when most of us were coming up. This is a huge tool. So guys, seriously, anybody listening, utilize this.
Absolutely.
Go to the website. Like I'm not even a part of this. I'm just a guest. But I'm being serious. Go to the website. It's tools like this. Utilize these tools. Every tool, every weapon in your arsenal. This is what's going to get you there. If you
I literally have one article up right now, complete guide to monetizing your stream from StreamerSquare. It's on my browser right now.
Exactly, dude, do it. Like
that is how helpful it is.
Exactly. Do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's all free too.
Weren't always around. These tools weren't always around. Stand on the shoulders of people that have worked hard to put this stuff together and do greater things than they could. Like seriously, that's the evolution of industry. That's the evolution of Twitch. That's just evolution. All right. Stand on the shoulders of people that did the hard grunt work. So you not have to.
So you can do better than us.
And don't feel guilty about it. Seriously, like don't feel guilty about. Yeah, dude. This job is hard enough. Don't just take the leg up and be grateful.
Thank you guys. I appreciate the shout out. But yeah, Mittens, thank you again so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
Thank you guys in chat for watching and asking really good questions. You guys hit us with some tough ones, and we hope to have answered them. And last but not least, if you guys have any more questions, either join our Discord or tweet at any of us. I'm sure we'd all be happy to help you guys in the best way that we can. We're here to just share more information with each other. So thank you guys for watching. Next week, we're going to have a convention tips episode with Elohim and Blue Jay. So should be a fantastic episode with some two experienced convention goers. And we'll be here same time, same place next week. Have a wonderful rest of your week, guys. This has been the Stream Scene on StreamerSquare. Have great nights.
Good night.
Night.